I'm Chris, and I'm going to show you how to set up the pink guitar that you've just bought, that I hope gives you as much pleasure as I've had out of mine. I'm going to show you how to set it up to play slide guitar the way I play slide guitar. First of all, I'm going to start by showing you the first guitar I ever bought, which was for £32 many, many years ago. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it was a lot of money in those days. This is it, and it's an old Hofner, and it's not a very good guitar, but I bought it because it looked like a Strat. I couldn't get a pink one, and this was the only one that was in Middlesbrough, and it was in a second-hand shop. £32, and I've still got it. It's got lots of switches, and they all crackle and make noises, but they don't do much. So there it is. Your guitar is a lot better than this. This is Pinky, a famous old guitar. It was like a candy apple red when we first got it, and it's seen millions and millions of gigs, thousands and thousands of people, and it's picked up all sorts of stuff along the way. John O'Lacey, the racing driver, gave me this. The Lotus 7 Club, because I love Lotuses. This little badge that's become a lot of people ask what this is. It just happens to be a sticker. There's no real reason. I don't know how it got there, to be honest. But it's where I used to go for my holidays when I couldn't afford it. This was a very cheap place to go to, and it was a great place because you got great Spanish food, real Spanish food, and it was quite deserted, Formentera. And I wrote a lot of the songs in the early days in this place. On the Beach was written, on that little beach there. If you just, there you go. It was written just there. It's faded. When I see old videos, it looks quite red compared to what it looks now. And we've tried to do with this guitar, this pink, as opposed to the original pink that it was. It's been submerged in 5 foot of water for 3 weeks. I once went to see my parents for Christmas, and I had a water tank came in through the roof in the winter, and it was in 5 foot of water for 3 weeks. And I'm not recommending that you do this with your guitar, but some people say maybe that's why it sounds so nice. I used to see film of Joe Walsh with a Gibson Les Paul, and a lot of people told me that in the studio he uses Strat a lot. Also, a lot of people told me that you can get the combinations between Gibsons and Strats with a Strat. You can't get the same combinations with Les Pauls. So if you buy a Les Paul, that's what it's going to sound like. But with a Strat, you can make it virtually sound like any other type of guitar style sound. Ry Cooder had a Lake Placid blue one, and the first lick I ever wanted to play was when I heard Ry just go, and that lovely, almost cello-like sound was, it just turned me on. The way he used to hang on, and the way if he was feeling angry, he'd brush it a bit more like that, and it had real emotion, and I fell in love with it straight away. I use an old valve piggyback amp from about 1958-59, but this one's just as good. These are brand new, but they're based on the old ones, and they're great. And sometimes I use a compressor, which, what a compressor does, it's just a little thing. All you need to buy is an extra lead in the compressor, and it gives sustain. So instead of the note just dying away, you press that and it'll hang and hang and hang forever. My mother used to hate it because I could sit there just seeing how long the sustain was when I was young, and you'd normally hear that type of sound and then hear my mother yelling, "For God's sake, will you shut up?" Now the tuning is E, it's the chord of E. If you're in normal tuning, I'll take this off. When you're in normal tuning, it's that chord there. It's second fret, first fret. So it's the normal E. And I tune the guitar up to that. I liked it because it sounded Spanish. I knew nothing about chords. And I just tuned it till it sounded nice. And I found out that I could. And I thought, oh, wow, this reminds me of Formentera. So when you want to change a chord, you just lay your finger across if you're playing in blues style. Now there's two styles that I first started learning, which was the old bottleneck stuff, which is based on this kind of thing where you play like a. So that's the bottleneck blues type of approach to playing this type of thing. The other thing that I really like, which helped because I'm a songwriter, is the more melodic Hawaiian approach that people like Ry Cooder adopted. Now what you do here is you learn, and you'll have a little piece of paper with the video that will show you these shapes. They are simple third shapes, and it's just a scale, and you pretend this is all in E, and you go. And that was the first thing I ever learnt off Ry Cooder, and they're all two notes. And that's where you get a lot of melodies from. The minor chords come by simply laying your third finger, because you've got your bottleneck on, so you can't use that one anymore, which limits you, but you find ways around it. You lay that across. I'll do it nice and slow so you can. And you play, the first finger goes on the third string. So you get this, I'll just take this off to show you clearly. You get this shape. And you can also play the same scale. Now what that does when you open the strings, when you play all the strings together, you get like minor chord sounds, which I love, which remind, Joni Mitchell used to play a lot of stuff like a lovely ringing sound. Then you start to learn suspensions, and suspensions are when you get to the end of a sequence like. And all you do is lay this bar across, as I showed you earlier, and you put this finger 2 frets up, so you can. And now you can then start to do tricks with it, like. You just make tunes up as you go along. Those are harmonics at the end. All you do is take your finger off as fast as you can as you hit it. The other type of pinky is the grindy sound when Chris Rea is writing one of those really miserable songs about being stuck on motorways and got no cigarettes left and it's pouring with rain and the record company's driving you mad because you haven't got a hit single and you don't want to do something as fast as they want to do it and all that kind of stuff, and you get very angry, so you press that button. This is the angry button, and what that does is it just overdrives the amp. You can use it in a Keith Richards way. Now that's the same little trick as I told you earlier about the two-finger things. You'll have that on your little sheet of paper, and also you get a bit of compression, which gives you a bit more sustain, and then you can play what a lot of people think Chris Rea, it's like a saxophone clarinet type thing. Now, when you get up here, you have to work on just your own ear to get the right pitch. It's something you have to practice. A lot of people tend to go up here and get very flat or very sharp. It's just something you pick up over the years, and it's like a hard electric blues. You can do country and western versions of Superstition. This is the pink Stratocaster that Fender have made, to my surprise, that people can buy. The neck is as close as we can get it to the original pink neck, which is quite important. What you'll find is that over a period of time, the frets will start to wear down and you'll start to get the exact same feel as my pink guitar, because my pink guitar is over 30 years old. You can take it to a guitar man and just file it down. Be careful, don't really try this yourself, because if you overfile, you're in big trouble. You have to put another fret in and it'll cost you a lot of money. They will wear down as you play. You know, pinkies, the original pinky was quite high frets when we first got it, and they just wear away, and they tend to start to shape the way you play. It's very interesting when you look at different people's fretboards. You can see the different way they play from the wear and tear that's actually, believe it or not, you can wear this away. Eric Clapton's black Stratocaster is actually worn away so far here that this string will hardly sit on the neck, and that's why Fender's built him a new one, because it was almost becoming unplayable at the amount of knots that he plays at. So here we have it. It's, as far as I'm concerned, could be pinky. Needs a few scuffs and a few accidents. Immerse it in water for 3 weeks, but don't come back to me if it doesn't work. The badges and stuff, which I thought was a nice touch by Fender, they've put them in the case for you if you want to put them on. Now I'm going to show you what we did when we bought our Stratocaster. All Stratocasters came with a tremolo arm. Now I don't play tremolo guitar at all. And what I found was as I was finding this tuning that I like to work on, what was happening was, because there's tremolo springs in the back, they were pulling, because I'm really giving it some, because I use thicker strings, and because you're actually making high tension out of three of the strings that wouldn't normally be there. So it kept going out of tune, and the way around that is this simple little piece of wood. Fender are going to give you the little block of wood, and you just plonk it in there, gently tap it in. Don't worry, these things are really hard. Don't be precious with them. They're like racing cars. They are meant to be used, which is, you know, why they're better than, you know, a lot of guitars tend to be pieces of furniture, and you don't play them and you don't leave them lying, you know. If my children pick this up and give it a good banging, it's okay, it doesn't mind. Just like Pinky, there's 5 different switches. You've got your bridge, you've got that one which phases these two together, that one is just this one, that switch is phasing these two together, and that one is just for that. Tone controls, hardly ever used them. I'll tell you that, to be very honest, the main time I use a tone control is if I'm in overdrive and the buzz is getting a bit too much. I might just take it down there. You can hear it going there. But you also find that with Stratocasters, the top end of the sound of the guitar disappears by the time you get to about 8 against the mark, against this little screw here. You can hear the top come on and the top go off. I do know some guitarists who never play them flat out. They always keep them like that. So this is the guitar, and this is how you tune up. You've got normal E. Now I do this by ear. And then you went da. So there you are, you're now in the same tuning that I play, and I'll just show you, it's just the same as Pinky, it's great. I put this little compressor in for sustain, and when I do that, that's called vibbing, and it just makes the notes wobble. It can also get you out of trouble if you're a little bit sharp or a little bit flat. You tend to learn over the years to press harder or press less. So it does everything mine does. I could quite easily get used to this guitar. And we have actually, on the Road to Hell Part 2 album, we've actually used this guitar on the record, so it'd be interesting to know whoever knows which guitar is which. Now this is the Overdrive for a little play out, and there you go. Good luck.